How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Park Score podcast. Today I'm here in beautiful Houston, Texas with my good friend Isaiah. Isaiah?
What's up, man?
So Isaiah is a good friend of mine that I met, I'd say maybe 1.5, 2 years ago. We were shooting a little film called SS Wayne, and that was a film, shot and produced by my friend Eric. And it was a good experience. And during that experience, we had a young photographer come out and take some really dope behind-the-scenes pics for us.
Yep.
And after that, the rest is history. So, Isaiah, you want to just tell them a little bit about who you are and what you've been up to for the past year?
I think I'm gonna be really corny. I don't really give a fuck. But can I cuss on there?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just a dreamer. It's just ever since I was younger, I've just always been obsessed with cameras. Not what you think, though. I'm just like, what does this thing do? You know what I'm saying? This crazy invention. What does this thing do? And I don't know. Growing up, I wanted to start a clothing brand. Maybe in middle school. I know I always wanted to be like something. Like I was obsessed with Steve Jobs. I think that was the first innovative person I started to gravitate towards, just because Apple was Apple, and I was really big into tech, and I was I know I'm rambling, but this all matters.
That's the definition of a podcast.
Yeah. But so basically, first of all, I got into technology, watching CES, those conventions and stuff. Basically grew up on YouTube, watch vlogs, I was just obsessed with this idea of these people pioneering this new way of life. I thought it was so cool to be like, Ma, you can make money on YouTube, you can make money playing video games. But right then and there, it was 2008, 2009, 2010. I'm saying this as a young kid. She thinks I'm delusional, but I'm trying to tell her there's money in this, and just I love the passion, and I don't know, it's a bunch of stuff in the world that just wasn't created yet. But here you go today. You can watch a CES tournament on TBS, on cable. I don't know. Shout out Marcus Brownlee, Ty Moss, fucking. A bunch of I could just go down a whole rabbit hole, but I just always wanted to be like them. I aspire to be like anybody I grew up watching, and I'm just trying to make my younger self happy.
Bet. What's that? Shundos.
Not yet. Not yet.
What's a shundo?
No say.
No say.
Don't know. I don't know.
No, bro.
We're gonna have to look that up.
Nah, for real. Guys, go ahead and drop it in the comments below if you know what a shundo is. Help educate us.
Please.
Anyways, but so when you'd come onto the set of SS Wayne,
yeah.
I remember you took some behind the scenes photos for us, and they were super dope. And it seems that you have a really sort of distinct style, and it's one that I really appreciate. You had come along and you had actually shot another concert that my brother and I had done, and I wanted to ask, is photography you would say your main sort of medium that you like to gravitate towards, or was it sort of out of necessity? What kind of got you into photography?
Photography was a key to get in the door with people I looked up to. At first I was shooting music videos in high school for $200, $300, $400 with anybody who would believe in me. Mm-hmm. And I shot on my friend Michael and Brian's mom's camera. I didn't even own a camera. I shot on a camera. It was a T6. And this is when I first started Neglected in 2018. I knew I wanted to have photos of Yachty and Baby Cody and whoever else was popping. Because eventually one day I was trying to follow the path of Cole Bennett. I was trying to do live shows, but I mainly wanted to be a video director, music video director. I don't know, I just got a lot of ideas. I think, you know what carries me? I think my passion just carries me. Like, I don't know, man. But to answer your question, it was just, it's not my passion, at least anymore. Like, photos are just fun now.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And no, I think you make a good point, which is like, it's a skill that kind of gets you in the door with a lot of other projects and like collaborators that you want to kind of get in touch with. I think that's like, honestly, a really smart thing to do. I think in your case, like, it certainly has worked.
Yeah.
You mentioned neglected.
Yeah.
Do you want to like kind of break down like what that is? Tell people what neglected is.
Well, at first, I just want to say it's a lifestyle. I want to say it's like who I am. Like, I think I'm really shy, and I've been turned down a lot on a lot of, like, but who hasn't though? But on a lot of opportunities. But it's just I wanted to like give it this feeling, like a name. I still never understand the feeling, but just being like counted out, or just being, I usually say shit on. I just feel like I got something to prove. I got a chip on my shoulder. I need to go crazy, and I need to show you why I matter, or whoever behind me matters. You know, just being I love underdog story. Anybody who you ask that knows me and like we're really close, you know I love coming to age stories, movies, bro. Love underdog stories, like to Never Back Down, to it's a boxing movie, to I think my favorite movie is Footloose, the 2011 adaptation. Bro.
Okay, why is that?
Because it's something so simple as dancing. Dancing was, and that's another thing too, I used to dance. But dancing was just banned in a small hick town. And he was like, well, fuck your band. I'm going to dance because it's fun, because it's this, because it's that. Just like, I don't know, I just think that's cool.
Do you feel like that relates to kind of where we're at today? You feel like there's any sort of restrictions on creativity that we're having to like sort of work with and work around?
I mean, maybe, but I think a lot of it is in your head. I think if you're around the right person and they open your eyes to it, or if you like, just right now, like if you just sit and listen to whatever you want to call this is trying to tell you, I think you'll find your answer if you just listen. You just have to listen. Just listen, and it'll, like, I don't think anything will, like, it may feel like it, like, right now, one of the things I feel like that's stopping me is money. But as we talked about earlier off the podcast, it's more like if you plan, you may get your idea out one day, you may have a chance, and if you're not ready, X, Y, and Z, you know, you can't do it.
Right.
Can't happen. I don't know.
Well, and I think too, you know, like historically speaking, a lot of artists have had to go the route of seeking patronage, you know, finding sort of rich people or people with means who are interested or intrigued by whatever your ideas are. Yeah. And so I think a lot of it is, you know, maybe you don't have the resources at your disposal currently, but there's always room to kind of plan, room to sketch things out, room to sort of iterate on whatever your idea of the future is. That way, because I mean, luck is going to happen upon us at some point in time. Yeah. And so if we're just like ready when it strikes, then, you know, it's kind of surprising what we're able to do with that. But so neglected, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong,
yeah,
neglected is mostly centered around, would you say it's more of a media enterprise or more of a sort of fashion enterprise? What would you classify it as?
I wanted it to be, so the idea was it was to be a media house. I wanted to do essentially what we're doing now with the underground, or like the people who are slept on, the neglected, as corny as that is. But yeah, like I wanted them to have a light, and I wanted us to be popping enough to where if we gave you a whole press run, we'd be like the equivalent to like XXL, but in our own way. It was mainly about artists at the time, but now I wanted to be all my ideas like under one name. Like I'm really big into fashion, really big into cameras, really big into music. So whatever that looks like in the next, well, hopefully by the time I'm 26,
Yeah.
it'll be something. But
So, how old are you right now?
22.
22.
Yeah.
And so, how long do you think you've been sort of exploring or experimenting with the Houston underground scene?
Maybe 5 years now.
5 years. Have you seen any changes over the course of those 5 years?
I'll tell you this. Yes, but I wish I would have stayed down. Like I wish I would have like just kept pushing towards it even during the dry period. Because now there was a bunch of time that was missed out that I could have spent like just building relationships. And so now that it's like actually changing, I kind of got to play catch up.
Okay, so so you mentioned it changing. So what do you think is changing about it? And then like as far as playing catch up, what does that sort of look like? What does that sort of entail?
The change, I think the new generation is gonna switch it up a little bit, but it's not what it used to look like. I think there's gonna be a lot of EDM. I think there's gonna be a lot of it's other than hip hop, like every other genre. Cause I feel like Houston's really small-minded. I like to call it Houston hate because only Houston people like they'll pay to go to a show and sit on the wall and try to be too cool for school. As far as that, but basically what I'm saying is that's gonna cut out eventually. But me playing catch up, like I have a lot of relationships with these people who are like becoming big now and signed now. And so if I do my thing, if I just put my head down and work, and hopefully do a couple shows, 4 or 5 shows, eventually get sponsored, and then after I get the funding for what I want, then I think I'll be where I want to be.
You had mentioned doing a show in October, like in our ride over here before the podcast. How do you go about planning those? What does that look like? And also, like what's been your experience with those so far?
So, let's say we had the money this month, right? We'll have like 5 or 6K saved up, and we'll spend most of it on finding the venue. We'll spend most of it on the artist, and the rest of the money is all on advertisements. And so then we'll just have our graphic designers, like 2 to 3 people. We'll have them, one person cook up something, flyers, one person do a new logo, one person work on the show merch. And then from there, that'll be done. And then before this month would be over, we would just start promoting till we got one side of Houston looking like our mood boards. Like we want you to step into our world. Like we want it to be just, we wanted to make it look like it's a big press run. You know, you want to promote yourself like, you know, there's no tomorrow. Like Tyler Creator said, like, why would you want to spend all this time and money and effort just to promote it for one day or 1 week? You gotta, for the rest of the year, you gotta, whatever project you have, you want to promote it. Even if it was dropped 3 months ago, you want to promote it because you never know.
Yeah. What do you feel like success would look like in that domain? Like, what do you feel like success would look like for a show or just for Neglected in general?
See, the shows are always just the next step because you can never see, you know, what's in front of you sometimes. Sometimes it's clouded, but as long it's like doing work in school. Like, oh, you may have like a big test at the end of the period, but you know, at the end of the day, you need to work on these daily assignments or whatever just to keep this up. So when you get to the point of the test, you pass or fail, you're good. So basically we're doing work. Shows are just a footstep. And as they grow, that's not something I aspire to do, but the team likes it. The team wants, it makes them happy. So that's why I do it. The first couple of shows, first 4 or 5 shows we did, I scratched my itch. Like I really did. But now I'm on the next thing, but we have to also be in the present. Like my mind's in the future, but we also have to be in the present. So it's like, I got to do those things. Like it's just something I have to do. It's like how we're walking here. Like I just got to get to the end.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I'm kind of curious. Like, do you mind walking us through those like first 4 or 5 shows in terms of maybe some key points, like in your growth or stuff you learned, or even just like, significant little points that happened throughout that sort of process?
I'll tell you out of order. I'll tell you my favorite. It was our first show. It was our first big artist. I just got back from New York, and the same day I touched down in New York, my partner Emmanuel, he calls me that night, and he's like, "Hey, I paid Heaven." That was this big artist at the time, and like he was like under Dawn and like these people we look up to, right? And so, fast forward in that week, we promote it in a week and it sells out in a week, and it was just so crazy to me. I was also thinking at the same time, like, I hope this is genuine because I don't want the next ones to be, like I just didn't want this first show to be a fluke. And so there was this moment, it was 2 days before the show, or maybe the day of, maybe that Friday, and the show was Saturday. And we didn't have credit. We were like 18, 19. And we didn't have credit cards and all this other shit. And I was like, hey, can we use your credit cards? Because he was teaching us how to do a show like along the way. And we took whatever he taught us and we put it and we switched it and do our own thing. But we needed to get these stages right. And we're in the U-Haul. And we paid for this U-Haul. We go all the way to the north side. Shout out Famous Stages, by the way. And we don't even get the whole 15 set, I think. I think we get like 12 or I forgot what we got. Maybe it's like 18 and we got 15. One of those. We got like 3 less. So, he's like, I don't know, bro. I don't really play about money. And I'm looking at the team and they're looking at me. And like everybody's like following me. Like everything I do, they're just like, they're here to support me, but they're also like, what's the next step? Like, I don't know. And so I just do it. I'm just like, yeah, we got you. Like just hoping to have enough money to pay this artist the same night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he does it. He's like, I don't know what I like about y'all, man, but you know what, fuck it, let's do it. And he does. He has people pull up. They help us. We load it. And there you go. The rest is history. That's one of my favorite ones to tell. Besides the turnout for it, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I was pretty hype off that. But then our second show was bad. And I learned promotion was key. That's where I learned that I'm not as big as I think I am yet. And that really humbled me. But that's not the first time I've been humbled. All right? During these shows. Third show, it was amazing. It was cool. It was a good turnout. We got Baby Cody. It was a good turnout. If you were there, you know. And then our fourth show, and we get Sid Shine. But our openers, it's like one big-ass lineup. It was probably like our biggest show as far as like openers and headliners. So sometimes we like to put 2 headliners. It's like we almost try to have like a mini festival in like one building.
Word.
Yeah, so that happens. The fourth show comes. And it's good. It's a good turnout. Everybody comes. Even though we had an address switch, which was annoying. The venue didn't tell us about that. They told us last minute. So we had to tell everybody to go to Katy last minute, but they still pulled up.
Nice.
Thank you to everybody for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you expect if you change locations that at least
Tell us.
25 or well no I was gonna say like as far as like turnout goes,
Oh.
that like as a promoter that's got to be kind of pretty disheartening because you're thinking, man, this is about to be herding cats, getting every one that was gonna come to the last location and come to the next one.
Yeah, but they still came. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part is our headliner wanted to go on early, a little earlier than what we said because we wanted to see all the openers. We loved all the openers. We loved everybody on that lineup. So we let him go because we didn't want to lose him. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So we let him go on, and everybody thinks the show's over. We're like, nah, the show's not over. We still want to see so-and-so and so-and-so.
Yeah.
They're all in the parking lot. We're trying to get everybody in. We're getting disrespected by these artists that we paid to perform. Like, they're like, fuck you guys. Like, we're not performing until everybody goes in. And I'm like, if you go in, they'll watch you. Just go. And so we're going back and forth. I just felt like shit. I mean, thinking back on it, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And there's probably a different way I could have went about it. But I was just discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
But I had my best friend Gabe there from Philly. Shout out Gabe. That's my brother. Also, like, Neglected's graphic designer.
Nice.
And he was there with me for the week. And we just created art, and it made me feel better. But I'll tell you this, I haven't had a show since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that, you said?
I was probably like around this month, maybe 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so going into this next one, what kind of are you trying to keep in mind? What are you going to try to do different? What do you want to do the same?
Way more promotion for sure. Like I said, creating a world for these people to see. Definitely down in Montrose, but
what is it about Montrose?
Montrose was just a big part of my life, and most of these parties I go to, a lot of people come from there. At least, like that's my gist on it. So I don't know. It's popular. Petty Cash is down there. Leopard Lounge is down there. It's just where we fit in. Like if that was Houston's Melrose, Melrose is like a really big street in California. They have the Supreme store, the golf stores down there, all that. You know, if you watched YouTube in 2016, you know. So, but yeah, I don't know. I love that street. Shout out Earl Street. It's cool.
And so, let's say everything goes to plan
Right.
for the next year or
Right,
so.
right.
Where are you hoping to see Neglected? What are you hoping to have achieved?
Warehouse and fuck, I forgot what it's called, but now I remember. Just have Neglected's own fantasy factory.
Oh,
I want to give anybody, like, growing up, I didn't know what screen printing was, or didn't even like have the money to get a screen printer or even money to use a camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want people to have shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast room, studio room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know how I could probably get, but at the end of the day, that's where my heart is.
Do you feel like finding people to collaborate with in Houston is difficult? Do you feel like because when I look and see your stuff, I kind of see some repeating characters, and I think it's cool personally.
Yeah.
I'm always working with Kaysen, Eric, and Lance, and
Right.
all those guys, and I find it cool anytime I see any of these other sort of like scenes or like sub scenes going on where I can see like, okay, this is a group of people who are kind of working together pretty consistently and have their own kind of a little subculture going on. Do you think it's easy to find your like tribe in Houston, or do you feel like that's something that took you a while, or how did that go?
Man, I never think about that. I think it's probably hard. I think it's really hard to find people. I don't know. It's like I feel good and bad about that question. I love and hate that question.
Yeah, what about that question?
I
What do you love about it, and then what do you hate about it?
I love like the people in Houston, but sometimes it could be a little fake. I think people chase a lot of fame, short-term fame. But I don't know. I think the reason why I don't get to collab with a lot of people is because maybe I'm starting to think maybe I'm weird.
Fair enough.
Like, and plus I don't have a lot of work out, so not a lot of people know what I could do. But I scrap a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I say that to say that I don't think people know my potential, so I don't think they really want to work with me yet. I think my passion, I think my way of speaking kind of gets me in the rooms, not my work anymore.
Really? Okay, so what do you mean by that exactly?
I think I just talk my way in a lot of rooms. I mean, I'm genuine. I'm not fake about it. But I think I just talk my way in a lot of things. Like, my work is, like, not what... I mean, unless it's photos, but honestly, I think my photos are shit now. Quality-wise.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just repetitive. I want some new swag. But I also see what, like, people are wanting and where people are, like, top floor. Like, I know where they are. Like, they Photoshop, edit a lot, and have a lot of trash can flashes. And that's cool. That's cool. But it's something I like about that, but I want to do something different, but I don't know what that different is. But I also, like, take a lot of my... I take a lot of swag from, like, Gunner Stahl. I like a lot of in-the-moment shit. That's why I was so good at shooting on set on SS Wayne. It's just easy. If I feel comfortable and you give me room to roam, I can get some crazy shit, video and photo. But, I mean, you know how long it took me to get, like, that setup, the dual monitor setup in my room?
How long?
Like, a while. I would always, like, edit on, like, somebody else's laptop. But I just needed a dedicated setup to edit on, and I finally got it. So, I don't know. That probably didn't answer your question, but...
No, I think it did. So that was the next thing I was going to ask you is, as far as like workflow goes, how sort of structured do you go about things? Like, do you kind of sit down and go, all right, this is what I'm doing for the week, this is what I'm doing for the month, or is it more of a day by day thing as things come up? How committed to like a structure are you when it comes to your workflow?
I haven't picked up any work in a while. I'm not gonna lie to you, but if it's people like you or Gore Santana, or I'll get up and go. Yeah. But I'll tell you this: I'm not chasing work.
Right.
I couldn't tell you why either. I'm not out of passion for it. I just couldn't. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I want to say it's one thing, but that's just me making an excuse. I just haven't been chasing any work. I can't tell you, but I like to film, and I like to be, like, let's say, like that music video I shot the other night. Shout out Gore. I pulled up on him. We shot as much as we could. I wanted to do a second day, but he was fine with what he wanted. And so now it's just editing. But I shot that on the 18th, and it's the 21st, I think. Right? So I would have had the video halfway done by now.
Okay, so we're here with Mr. Isaiha, and I wanted to ask you, so you talked about how in high school you got a lot of your start doing music videos.
Yes, sir.
And even now, you know, you're still picking up music video work.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like your style of shooting has changed? Do you feel like a lot has changed since those high school days of shooting? Like, what do you feel like is new? What do you feel like has changed?
Just my knowledge on editing. I really want to deep dive more into rotoscoping and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm a nerd too. Like, I know about data moshing, and I like to do a lot of seamless transitions, a lot of in-camera stuff.
What does it feel like? There's sort of a consistent thing that people are looking for when they're asking you to shoot a music video?
Yeah, and I don't do that. That's why I shoot music videos for free or at least $100 just so I can have creative control.
Yeah. Okay,
I do
that's
not
cool.
I do not want to do your slow frame, even though it's probably easy. I don't want to do your slow frame rate transitions. I don't want to do. I barely want to shoot night vision. I don't want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't.
So do you feel like night vision is something that you keep seeing a lot of, or?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not hating on night vision. I just shot a night vision video, but
Nice, nice.
I don't know. I don't hate on it. It's just, it's like, I don't know. I'm a hater too. I'd be like, bro, you think you're gas because you like shoot on VHS, or you think you're gas because I don't know, whatever. I don't know.
The VHS stuff, that was something that I thought was kind of really dope. What do you think it is about VHS, or what do you think it is about just like sort of the old school analog type cameras that people are seeking? Like,
yeah, that wasn't me hating on. If you shoot VHS, that's not me hating on you. What I'm hating on is that you think you're the best filmer because you shoot on VHS.
Right.
But analog is so sick because it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like driving a manual car. Like, that bitch is still gonna turn on.
Right.
Like, it's still gonna turn over.
Turn here. I bet.
Like, so, although you don't see tapes anymore, you see a lot of converters, which that's what I run, a converter. Analog will just live forever. Just like film will live forever. Just like Apple will live forever. It's gonna live forever. I just like where it stands in my head.
Tell me what you think about this. So there was a quote from Brian Eno where he talks about how whatever is sort of uncontrollable about a certain medium is always what we romanticize about that medium later on. So, for example, like with film, like now you'll see people in their digital footage will like overlay some sort of film grain to give it that sort of vintage look, or like even like people will try to emulate like the look of like an analog camera or something, or even like in music, they'll put the little crackle of the vinyl at the beginning of a song. So like what do you see being like the sort of what do you see people sort of romanticizing in the future about like the current like gear? Or what do you think we take for granted right now that people are going to look back on in 10, 20 years and be like, man, that I want to like artificially put some of that into my stuff now?
I don't know. Damn, that's a really great question. There's not a lot of. I don't know. You tell me. You let me know.
Oh man. I think the only way to answer that question is like on an individual basis. And so I guess I would just kind of look at like what I personally like. Man.
Exactly.
It's tough. Like
back then's version of that was, I don't know if you know this, but they have different versions of night vision.
I didn't know that.
Right. So they have night vision. And I don't know what comes before the others. So they have super, and then they have ultra.
Okay.
And obviously it's more clear as you go up.
Nice.
But like, what's this generation's version? In-camera stabilization.
Okay. Hot take.
Maybe.
Hot take.
I don't know.
Nice, dude. Yeah. No, I can see that. One thing that I think I will always love and appreciate is like fisheye. I love fisheye. I love just like a good old-fashioned lens flare.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of more, but like
cinema lenses, maybe.
Cinema lenses. Okay, yeah.
Micro ones though.
Nice. Why micro?
Because you can get cinema lens like quality on a small camera body. So like on a A6400 or 63 or 67 or 68 or whatever. That's just like, or the FX3, something small. Because I know a lot of Man, this is another reason why I used to have cameras, because I used to sneak into shows.
Yeah.
But just imagine that up-and-coming concert videographer, photographer, and they have a small form factor like, Z-Cam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. You could get A1 quality and put it in your sweatpants or however you want to sneak that in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also cool too.
One thing I've been kind of thinking about recently that I want to try out is I want to, so I cut my teeth doing like vlogging and stuff, and that was like what I was
your
all about.
vlogs were amazing.
Which ones?
Everyone. Like the ones where y'all were in the college apartments, to where y'all would go to Houston and get tacos. I don't know. It was pretty sick.
Man, okay. That's like some OG stuff. I think
I watched all your shit.
I think those are like privated now and stuff. But
yeah,
man, you're making me want to like go back and check that out. This is what I've been thinking about. And tell me what you think about this. I've been thinking about getting me like a police body cam and like wearing it around for like a month straight.
Right.
And literally just seeing everything that I capture and just seeing what I can sort of capture and what I can sort of string together as far as like a storyline, like from that. Like, because I've even thought about like playing a show with like a body cam on. I know it's kind of like a GoPro sort of thing.
You're right.
But I'm thinking about it more long form, doing it a little bit longer. What's up?
We should do it long form. Yeah. Knowing you, I think you could get it done, but I think you would hate editing.
Oh, definitely. I hate it. No, hey, I'll tell you this. Something I've been kind of moving away from recently is like editing my own stuff. There's only a handful of things now where if I really just have a very specific vision for what I want for it.
Yeah. And no one else can do it. You'll do it.
Right. I'll do it, but for the most part now, especially like client projects and stuff, I'll just
have somebody else
hand them off to an editor if I can.
That's basically like my life story. Like with anything, like somebody come to me, or if I really want to work with somebody, I'll just see a need and meet a need.
Yeah.
Shout out Sandman. That's my favorite venue of all time.
Yeah. Well, okay. Why is Sandman your favorite?
Because that is where I knew that was a turning point for me. That was a place for me where it just stopped from being from internet. And it became like in my face. It was real. Whatever I seen from the internet was real, and that's what told me that.
Okay, so no, that hits on a really good point. Something I actually wanted to get around to is, so what do you think is the importance of like doing stuff in real life? Because I think when you see stuff online, you think, okay, I want to be online. I want to be like popping off on Instagram and all this, but there's like a magic that just can't really be replicated.
Right.
If all you're ever doing is like sort of working online or working like remotely, like you said, being in Sandman, being in the middle of it, and like sort of, for example, like for me it was, I would rather spend my time out in the field shooting, and then give it to somebody else to sort of edit, so that I can spend more time in the field shooting. What do you think is like the importance of kind of experiencing all this stuff like in real life firsthand, and like make relationships like face to face and stuff?
Face-to-face relationships are obviously they're way better than online, but it's really on the person, and it's really how you take it. Because I met my friend Gabe over 10 years ago on Xbox.
Word.
And I finally met him in 2019.
Nice.
And that's my brother.
Nice. Online is definitely a good place where you can find people who are interested in the same sort of niche things that you guys are doing. But definitely, I think building offline is sort of crucial if you want to make any sort of like a dent with your online presence. Because
like having shows and having them, like having some people like tell you good things in person is way different from telling you good things online. But that's not just it. I feel like just me, like if I had like a press conference or whatever or something, I don't know, just I had an opportunity to speak in public. I think I have like a gift. I think that's my gift. I think I can like touch some hearts with my words. And that's just my favorite part of it. It's almost like, and I don't want to get too crazy, so I don't know if anybody's going to go crazy online. It's almost like preaching.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
How
I don't want to discredit preaching.
How so?
As a lot of us go to church, sometimes a sermon can touch you or touch people differently. Maybe I heard something that you didn't, or something the preacher said touched me differently. I don't know. It's just something about that. I don't know. I don't know.
So like as far as like your information diet, do you feel like do you spend a lot of time sort of like seeking out different little do you spend a lot of time looking for things that sort of inspire you, or things that are sort of scratch an itch, or things that are related to your taste?
Yeah. But sometimes not. Sometimes everything's acquired. Like recently, my new obsession is guns. And I'm a nerd with I'm a nerd. Like I could tell you anything.
Yeah.
So
what is it about guns?
Guns now. I mean, I'm not like gonna do anything stupid with a gun, but I definitely like the training aspect, or competition is cool. Or
Yeah.
I just like guns right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I do not know where we are.
I
You
do.
know where we're at?
I do.
Okay, bet. Want to go ahead and start like guiding us back?
Oh, damn. As far as that, I'm just gonna follow my heart, because I know where we're at, but I didn't know it cut into this park.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I'll try to get us back. I think I got it.
You had mentioned something. You had mentioned following your heart, and I actually do want to ask you, because there's this quote from Jeremiah. It's like the heart is
Like the book?
yeah.
Okay.
It pretty much says that the heart. I'm gonna totally paraphrase this and perhaps butcher it. Yeah, but it pretty much says like the heart is wicked above all. Who can know it?
Yeah.
What? How do you feel about that? Because a lot of times in our culture today, we hear this whole idea of like following your heart, especially with like creatives and stuff. They say just follow your passion, man. Follow your heart. But I just find it interesting that sort of totally contradicts this like ancient wisdom that says actually don't do that. Your heart is unknowable.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with the old version, like that I agree with that, because sometimes people's heart's not in the right place. Not to say mine is, or is better than anybody's, but
I think a lot of it is just that we're easily impressed. Like
easily swayed.
You were easily swayed. Yeah. I think it's like easy to, like, definitely for me, I've gotten sort of wrapped up in like different movements, or like kind of idolize certain people that I get to the end of the road with it,
and you find out.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have something that I really would like to ask. Have you
Let's do it.
Have you come across anyone? You don't have to name names. But
Yeah.
Have you come across anyone in your sort of journey?
Yeah.
Where you're like, damn, they were. Like, I looked up to this person for a while, but they're not who I thought they were.
Of course.
So how did that go? And like, what did you learn from that?
That actually is another reason why I just stay to myself.
Okay.
That, I guess, is the answer to your question from earlier, like collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they really, like, it's really true what they say. Never. And this is like, this rise to fame is the oldest, one of the oldest stories of time.
Yeah.
It's like up there with love.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there with like Romeo and Juliet. It's never meet your idols. It's true. It's true. I mean, unless sometimes you get surprised, they're genuine.
Yeah, no, I definitely think whether or not they're like assholes or whether or not they're cool, they're never exactly who you expect them to be. So
of course.
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes they're better than you expect, but for the most part, it's like you think that they're more than human. You think they got some kind of magical touch, and then you meet them, because that is another crazy thing too about doing any sort of like creative work and stuff. Is
why do you think Playboi Carti never like shows his face or has any online presence?
Yeah. Well,
like,
yeah.
He uses to his advantage.
Right.
I feel like he knows he's not perfect.
Right. Definitely. There's a wisdom in that. There's a wisdom in, because even too, like, once you make it big, like, yeah, people start idolizing you, and then you kind of
you don't want to be played out too soon.
Right, and you run the risk of like kind of being a horrible person.
Something like that.
But oh man, I had another point, but it'll come back to me.
I
But
know.
So yeah, man. But what is there anything you feel like you want to cover?
I feel like we touched a lot of what I wanted to talk about. I mean, as far as passion, like whoever's listening to this, please get up from, after you're done watching this, please get up and just do it.
Yeah.
Because we don't live forever. And I always like to say, if you die tomorrow, would you be happy?
Okay, I'm actually glad you brought that up because, so I recently wrote a little piece on like near-death experiences, and I'm curious, have you had any like near-death experiences that kind of like shocked you into being like, oh damn, like I need to do something different. I need to actually.
Maybe not near death, but just the equivalent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you mean?
Growing up for me, I just realized like myself, not to talk down on myself, but I never realized how important I was, or we all are.
Right.
And I didn't like let's say I set this forest on fire. Like this ain't coming back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I fucked up a lot of times to be like, and had a lot of people's trust. And just being young and dumb, I just never realized what I was doing. So, fucking up like that kind of makes me slow down and think a lot sometimes. Like, what does this person mean to me? Because, like, me and you are not here by accident. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
I like to think that about everybody.
That's another thing, too, is there's a part of me that genuinely does believe that every single person that I've come into contact with over the course of my work and my life and stuff, that there was no accident. Like I don't think there was any accident that you pulled up to the SS Wayne.
That I got to even pull up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think any of those things were accidents. Like,
you want to know how I got to that?
How'd you get to that?
I just feel like sometimes when I do shit like that, I need at least one person with me, and thank God it was Mike, because y'all love Mike and Mike loves y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
So it just worked out, and we took his car.
Nice.
He was like, yeah, if you just do this for me, I got you. And I was like, whatever. And we went, and he was like, bro, I don't know about this. Like, why is it so far away? I was like, bro, just trust. I was like, bro, just trust, man. I was like, I've been through a lot of sketchy places. This is definitely the farthest. But he was like, oh, no. And then funny part is we see the sign.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mike, I mean, we could probably get shot. But I'm like, fuck you, right? Like, you only live once. And me and Mike and our friend group has done a lot of dumbass things. So I'm like, what's this?
Right.
It's just another opportunity
Right.
to fucking get in trouble. So.
And then, you guys pulled up and it was actually like a, good time.
It was fucking sick. Like, I've been to House of Jay like one time before I went.
Mm-hmm.
Got to meet Jay
Mm-hmm.
and his people.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, I feel like if we hung out with you guys more, like if our groups like combined, I think we'd like be really close.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we probably could have put out a lot of work or just had a lot of fun too.
Right.
Drunk.
Right. Well, and I mean, we still, there's still plenty of time in the future.
Of course.
That is one thing that I sort of that is sort of unfortunate is like how far out me, Kason, Rick, and Lance are from like all the Houston stuff, because it feels like there is a lot of potential to collaborate in Houston, but it's like anytime we ever want to do something in Houston, it's always like we're like, all right, we're about to make a little like road trip out here.
Yeah.
Like anytime we would go shoot for House of J or anything like that, we'd be like, all right, we're probably gonna get home at like 3 a.m. tonight.
But fuck it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was pretty much always worth it. But no, that is actually a really funny story.
Yeah.
With you, you and Mike.
I mean, I wish Mike could, tell his point of view on it, because he's like funny, but
yeah,
that's pretty much the gist of it.
But no, that's dope. Oh hell yeah. Okay, so before we if there's anything that you kind of want to like touch on before we like, knock it out.
We're good. We said everything I want to talk about.
I bet. All right, let's see where we at. We're at. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go for like another 10 minutes and we'll cut it off.
Let's do it.
All right, so Mr. Isaiah Prophecy, we're out here. Wait, so where did you get the name Isaiah Prophecy? Like, what was?
So it was my take on Ian Connor's Revenge.
Okay.
And so I'm Isaiah, and in the Bible, I'm a prophet, or he was a prophet. So you get to see my journey. I get to write my prophecy. There you go. I'm writing my own story, like in front of you.
So that was actually another question I had is, do you do a lot of, because I mostly when I've seen you, it's been photography, it's been some video, it's been some sort of design stuff and the fashion stuff.
Yeah.
So do you spend a lot of time just like journaling or writing or trying to do
I
any
should
sort of stuff like that?
I should, because like my mind goes places. Like I'm cracked out. Like I'll be like spaced out. Like my girl tells me like I'm not here, but I'm here. Like she's like, where's your mind at? Sometimes I couldn't even tell you. But I should journal. My friend Asa just, like, I got close with him recently, and he's been journaling. Yeah. He's really open about telling me about, he doesn't tell me what's in it, but he tells me that he's been journaling.
Nice. And you had said, you just now you said, I'm here. That reminded me of I Love It Here. What is I Love It Here? And like, break that down for us real quick.
I Love It Here is the lifestyle that videographers and photographers live when they're in a good space, like good amount of work. So let's say today I could be, and this used to be my life. Let's say today we film this, boom. After this, maybe 2 hours later, I'm in Houston at this thing that I got invited out to. Then eventually we end up at a party. Then after the party, we go to the after party. Then we end up in the studio. Then we wake up in a studio couch, and we do it all over again.
And as far as I know, it's called I Love It Here because the premise is, you know, you might be a little overworked, you might be spread thin, but at the end of it all, the work is meaningful enough, the work is enjoyable enough, it's like in line with your passions and your overall purpose to the point where, you know, that exhaustion is like a good feeling. It's like a good thing.
Yeah, it's like working out.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like working out. So
something that like I really hope for, you know, just anytime I'm doing these podcasts or anytime I'm like doing any of this like documenting of my work and stuff is just to, if at all possible, show people that like your hobbies and all that kind of stuff, it really can become, you know, like a living. It really can become something that you are able to do on a daily basis. Like I really hate that the concept of work now is just like doing something that you probably hate doing for like a nice paycheck, when in reality, you know, I'd like to see more people taking their hobbies, taking their passions, and actually going so hard at them, or like committing to them.
You gotta go all in
wholeheartedly that you get to do it full time, or you get to, you know, actually make a living off of it.
Yeah, it's balance. You gotta find your balance.
Right. One thing that I did whenever I was like still working, so I used to work at an airport. And,
I never knew that.
And I used to work at an airport, and I would like fuel airplanes. That was my job.
That's sick.
I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like what I knew that I was like
at the
supposed
end of the day,
to be
it's
doing.
just
it was just a
gassing.
job. Yeah, it was just a job.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that I wanted to make videos, and I just got out of college, had like a TV and film degree, but it wasn't really doing me any good. And so I kind of was like, all right, I could spend my free time watching YouTube, like hanging out with friends, doing all that stuff, or I could like use my free time to go and take on like little side gigs or shoot stuff for free. Or I mean, sometimes I remember I would like take vacation days from my airport job just so I could go shoot like some big opportunity type thing. And then like even now, like even where I'm working now, I'm like an in-house videographer. I'm doing like product videos and stuff like that. And it's closer in line with my overall sort of mission, which is to just, you know, shoot cool videos and stuff. But now I even find myself going like, all right, I have this little vacation day, or I have this weekend. Let me go out. Let me go shoot like a podcast for my own sort of like just enjoyment or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's a process. Like, you know, you're not gonna get to just have your dream job like overnight. Sometimes
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
Oh yeah, and like, you know, you gotta carve out time for it. It takes time. It takes time to sort of build up like a little portfolio.
You gotta pay your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, no, like absolutely. And I'd say I'm still in the process of paying that. Like, I'd say like probably every 1,000 hours you might get like a little bit of a little power up, little upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, you get to do something a little bit closer in line with what you're ultimately trying to do.
And that's the reason why we do it, you know.
Oh yeah, you know, it's nice to get to do work that you feel like a personal attachment to, or you feel like makes the world a better place or whatever. Not that videography is like this world-saving agenda or anything, but it's more of just like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's beautiful. It don't even try to downplay it, because like I never try to downplay anybody's thing. Like, dude, if you like couponing, like they have conventions for video games.
Right.
Dude, like, what was I gonna say? They have film festivals.
Right.
So film matters. Film matters. To
And
a larger group of people.
I think a lot of it too is just like, you know, I could go and I could do this job over here that maybe I don't have a personal connection to, and I'll phone it in. I'll do just enough to get like a paycheck. But if it's something that I have like a personal attachment to, something like video, something just some creative pursuit, I'm gonna go above and beyond. So I just see it as a way of like creating more abundance in our world, creating value out of nothing. And yeah, it's like something I would love to see everybody get to do. I think everyone should be a videographer. No, I'm kidding. I'm trolling.
So everybody should find passion projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, and it's like it could be anything. Like, you don't have to. It's not like it has to be something that
life changing. Like you like
right.
Rebuilt society.
Right.
Yeah.
It can be something as simple as like, oh yeah, like I love like
cycling.
I love cycling. So, you know, you might have a job right now as like you make sandwiches or something.
Right.
So maybe it starts out you cycle to work, or you got a friend who's got a busted up bicycle and you like repair it for him for free or something. It's like,
but then you're also doing what is at least acceptable now. It's like you like filming. Now you're an in-house filmer.
Right.
So you try to do your best to at least get close to that, or be in that realm of that.
Right. So you can't like make the jump straight over to the dream job like overnight. So what you do is you take exactly where you're at right now, and then you sort of slowly carve your way toward it. Like if you can get another position, maybe say it even pays a little bit less, but it's like a little bit closer in alignment with your like overall vision. Yeah. Like take that job if you can, and. I mean, I plan on doing that for the rest of my life, just with whatever job I have. I'll have some main thing that sort of sustains me, and then always I feel like I'm going to have these little experimental side projects that are, you know, just things that I feel like a personal attachment to. Like, because for me, it's like video is not even necessarily like my passion per se. It's just a thing that I happen to be good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like me in photos.
Yeah, and it's like you said with photos, it's not so much like, oh, I just love doing photos. It's like it's a way of getting myself in the door to what I actually want to do. For me, video is like I'm getting to document some sort of a story. I'm going to tell some sort of a story. I feel more like a storyteller than say a videographer. Anyways, guys, that's all the time I have. Literally all of the storage space that I have. This was Isaiah.
Yes, sir. What's up? We got the I Love It Here interviews. It's going to be a whole series coming out. But also, make sure you hire the Gore brothers. Like, best production company ever.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Stay real. Peace. Ciao.